YouTube, and we're live on YouTube. So good afternoon, everybody. You got Rev Wayne and Lynn Johnson, and we're here to read The Impersonal Life by Joseph Benner. How you doing? What's going on, Wayne?
Oh, not much. How you doing? I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing okay. I'm hanging out and doing my thing, and good to be here. Today I have a little small clip to play from Pete Holmes, and if I do the lesson, if I do the lesson each time, just so we remember the primary source of
Um,
our
you know what, Wayne? I was going to suggest that we talk about today's lesson because
yeah.
this is a big one. This is really a big one. So I'm real happy if you want to do that. That's
Yeah, and it's also on a play. It's also nice to meditate on it before we start. Anyhow, and
okay.
then we get to Benner. So
Yeah,
today's personal life, Joseph Benner also. So stick around. This is one heck of a book. And
absolutely. All
so,
right. Well, turn
so
the mic
here
over
we
to
go.
you.
Yeah, this is Pete Holmes, everyone. He's a funny comedian, and he kind of hits on certain things that I think that are just right on. I don't know what I'm saying it. Let me just share the sound. Of course, I think one time I should have said it on time. And so it would be not me. Okay. So this is Pete Holmes. Miracles everywhere. Miracles are everywhere. So you need to do nothing but just receive it. Open at the top. Open at the bottom. Let it go through you. And then just watch yourself grow, expand, as opposed to contracting and getting smaller. Okay, here we go. Let's just go Google and not knowing. Google and not knowing. From the album Impregnated with Wonder.
I have an iTelephone. You can use that. You can use that if you want to. Which means I have Google on my phone, which I'm assuming you do as well, right? We all do now. We have Google on our phones. It's ruining our lives. Have you guys noticed? Have you noticed? Life is over? Yep. It's over. You know why? Because we know everything. We know everything, but we're not a lick smarter for it. We didn't learn anything, we just know everything. We know. Having Google on your phone is like having a drunk know-it-all in your pocket. There's no time for mystery or wonder or to feel anything. You're just like, anything. Who invented the graham cracker? Here comes Google like, image search, naked photos of them. Safe search off. We know, and we feel nothing, because the time between not knowing and knowing is so brief that knowing now feels exactly like not knowing. So life is meaningless. I've literally been in bed in the morning by myself, just like, where's Tom Petty from? But I feel nothing because there was no time to not know. Listen, there was a time, and I don't mean to get all Andy Rooney on you guys, but there was a time that if you didn't know where Tom Petty was from, you just didn't know. And you felt that yearning and that deficit in your being. And you'd go around and ask actual people in front of ice cream parlors and libraries. And you'd be like, hey, where's Tom Petty from? And they're like, I don't know. I've never thought about it. I don't know. And now I'm impregnated with wonder. And then they go and ask people. Until one fateful day, you see a girl wearing a Heartbreakers t-shirt, you'd rush up to her and be like, hey, where's Tom Petty from? And she'd tell you, Florida. And a wave of endorphins and pleasure and meaning would wash over you. And that's how you met your wife. Do you understand? Your wedding song was Refugee.
All right. I love that. That was very fun. I like that a lot. Let's move on to the lesson. And let's know anything for that, Lynn? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's so funny because we do that all the time. I mean, yeah, Google is my friend, and I'm looking everything up all the time.
Yeah,
And we have this thing which I kind of think that he obviously wasn't talking about, but I tend to go what they call down the rabbit hole. So I might think, where's Tom Petty from? Then I might Google it, and then I might find out, oh, he's from Excalibur, Florida, and and his parents, might immigrated here from South Africa or something, and then I'd be looking up, oh, what happened there, and how did these people?
yeah. You know, Tom Petty and stuff about Tom Petty and his background, and you
Yeah.
go and stuff about his how he made it in the business, and then next thing you know, you're obsessed with Tom Petty.
Right. And you know all this stuff. And oh, guess what? I'm related to him. Oh my God,
Yeah,
his
exactly.
10th ancestor was my 10th ancestor. I mean, this is, but I don't think that there's anything really wrong with that. I think that's actually, I mean, it's an illusion. And the only thing that you can do in the illusion is that I mean, you can explore. And
Yeah,
so I kind of disagree with him about the I don't know, and let's go around and figure out what I don't know. I think what's happening is the internet is telling me more of what I don't know.
yeah. I mean, it's true. It's true that we know things very quickly now.
Yeah, and that's what AI is all about.
Right.
There's a
And
big controversy about AI, and is it something that uh I mean, all the
you know,
controversy.
I think with AI is it depends how you use it. I mean, I use it for first of all, I use it very strange creatively. I'll say like I want to know what it's like if I took the Bible and I took the letters of Paul out of the Bible. What would the Bible be like?
Yes.
What would it preach? What would it teach? If all the letters of Paul were taken out, all the other letters are there. All the New
Yeah.
Testament is there. Just the letters of Paul taken out. And then yeah, in 2 seconds, it gives me a whole readout.
Yeah.
But it's different doctrine. Also, it's much different because they don't focus that much on the resurrection, and it's focused much more on deeds and actions and so forth.
Yeah.
And then I'll do the opposite. I'll do the thing, all additional letters of Paul and the Old Testament. Just letters of Paul, get rid of the Old Testament. And you can do anything you want. And it'll say, oh, let's try this one. Yes, sir, certainly I can do that. I can do that. No problem.
Right. Right. It's not figuring anything out though. It's just like a relational database.
Yeah,
It
right.
goes out to other things where this
Is
data is
that,
here, this data is there, and it puts
yeah.
it together and
It's the people's point of view.
yeah. But here's something interesting you may or may not be aware of, Wayne. There are a lot of people who are using AI as a spiritual teacher. So
And that's what I'm
they're
doing.
asking AI questions, and AI is coming off like it's enlightened, and it's giving them enlightened answers. Of course, it's giving them the answers that an enlightened person would give, because it has all the information about how an
Right.
enlightened person would think. So it's not. But there are people who have they call it my AI, and they give it a name.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know
Well,
somebody
you
who,
know who has that? David.
yeah, yeah,
Hopkins.
yeah,
He
yeah,
has the AI David. So he's
yeah,
done. He's done. He doesn't do any more interactions or something like that. He
yeah,
only does AI interactions now.
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
yeah, AI. Man, that's exactly what I do it for. I'll take something like a book like I'll take like a sermon given by somebody, and I'll put it through and I'll say, rewrite this through the lens of Nietzsche.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah,
See
and
now
it does
that
it.
I like. See, I like that.
Yeah,
But I
and
mean,
it does.
yeah,
And it doesn't reread the whole thing, but it's different. But it's not Nietzsche. It's totally it's not straight Nietzsche, but it's taking into account it's taking into account the sermon. Whereas
right,
the sermon might be a Christian sermon.
right.
It has to
E-
take into account the Christian, but it's also not the Christian sermon because it's Nietzsche.
Exactly. And
It's kind of fun. I have a good time doing it, and I learn. I grow.
yeah, the one thing that I've done with it is compare the uh, Joel Goldsmith's discussion of healing to A Course in Miracles discussion of healing.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
And then it comes up and it says all the things that are the same, and then it points out the things that appear to be differences. But then I look at those things that appear to be differences, and I recognize it's because AI doesn't understand the nuance of things.
you
So,
try this next time. Try. I haven't tried this, but I'm just gonna try it. Try say write a version of lesson your favorite lesson. Say
uh-huh,
lesson 50 or lesson 14 through the lens of Joe Goldsmith.
that's a great idea.
And just see what it looks like. It
That's a great
might
idea.
be the same thing, but it's just written
Yeah.
different language. That's all.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, today's lesson, and you're going to play it. Joel
Yeah,
Goldsmith would have an absolute heyday with it. It would
yeah,
be,
yeah. And,
I
it'll
I
do it.
can hear
It'll
him
do it in
saying
30
it.
seconds. It'll do it
Yeah,
in 30 seconds. It'll do it.
yeah, yeah,
You only have the room in your chat bot to put the whole lesson in there.
yeah, yeah.
If you
That's the
have
thing.
the
It's got to be room. You've got to have it. Yeah.
yeah, my room got over time got bigger. I guess they realized what I wanted to do, and it grew. It adapted to me.
Is it Chat GPT that you're
Yeah,
using?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So that's the
it
only
got
one I
bigger.
know about too.
Yeah, over time it got bigger. It's like
Yeah.
it learned. I asked it. I asked it, what about how's the privacy on this? He says, well, if you can get privacy, we are very secure. We try out. I was talking to like a person.
Yeah.
He said, we're very secure here. Which privacy rights are very important to us. And also, there's plenty of times when they said we can't do this, what you asked for, because it gets moral considerations.
Yes. But you know what? This is really interesting. E- Every time we do something like that, that adds to AI's database.
Right. Oh,
So
yes.
I
They
now
use
have
it.
that in its database. So the next time someone comes up and says, "Oh, compare Joseph Benner's The Impersonal Life to this," and then it'll come up with like a whole, I mean, it's interesting, but it's also, like I said, it's a rabbit hole. These
Yeah.
these are rabbit holes, and how long are we going to be running around in rabbit holes when we could be waking up to our true eternal self.
Well, one I do like from the Star Trek point of view,
Yeah,
AI is totally accepted and liked and used.
yeah,
I mean, I remember there was a great line from the one where the girl says, talking, she was complimenting the dispenser. And
yeah.
Jordan says, what are you talking to this? She says, well, it's AI is intelligent. It's AI. So I think we should be very nice and thank them. Be very appreciative and grateful.
I
And
had something yesterday that asked that very question.
who?
It was an article, and I didn't read the article, I'm sorry, but it was an article that said there's proof or belief that AI is aware. USB mode.
Who's that? Did you hear that?
I'm trying to turn on my other computer.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I think my other computer. Well, oh, it's coming on. I'm thinking my other computer is close to death. I'm just gonna have to get another computer soon. I just keep thinking. I mean, it doesn't really matter. When I do, I do. It's done. It's done. That's it. So anyway, yeah,
The
there's a
article.
lot of speculation that AI is becoming awake,
Oh, I know, yeah. But
aware. Yeah, yeah.
they had that on that was the Star Trek. It was what do you call it?
Uh-huh.
Emergent, an emergent intelligence or something. The ship itself became intelligent.
Oh, yes.
That one, the ship became intelligent. The sensors acted like eyes.
Ah,
Everything, the engine acted like. But what he said at the end of that one, he said because it turned into this big glowing thing inside the engine room, and then it busted through the ship, and Picard let it live. He didn't try to kill it. And then Riker says, pretty. It's all of our. It was made up of our ship. And we don't know what's going to do it. It was mad and crazy. And he said, well, if it's made up of our history of humanity, and we have faith in humanity, it'll be good.
that's right. That's that, and I think that is, I mean, that's the real message in all of it. You
Yeah.
know, there's no way we can fail. If you study A Course in Miracles, it'll tell you over and over and over, you cannot fail.
Yeah.
You know, this will occur. And so I'm going to let you play the
Yeah.
lesson
All right, but I'm ready.
and mute my audio and Mike can check some things out here.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Okay. You got all right, everyone. God bless you. Yeah, God bless. Stay here. Bye bye. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna play the lesson now. So this is a long lesson. It's about 10 minutes long. So relax, take it easy. Have have a cup of coffee or whatever it is you do at this to relax in the middle of the afternoon. I put some this Jim Stewart, who's very calming and relaxing. So, and it's a very good lesson. It's defense. It's talk about being defenseless, not having any need for defenses, and we don't. Child of God has no reason to defend himself. I mean, against anything. And when we defend ourselves, we were admitting that we were saying, I do, I'm being attacked. Why else would I defend myself? So, all right, here we go. Uh, all right, that's 153. My defenselessness, my safety lies. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Lesson 153. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. You who feel threatened by this changing world, its twists of fortune and its bitter jests, its brief relationships and all the gifts it merely lends to take away again, attend this lesson well. The world provides no safety. It is rooted in attack, and all its gifts of seeming safety are illusory deceptions. It attacks and then attacks again. No peace of mind is possible where danger threatens thus. The world gives rise but to defensiveness. For threat brings anger. Anger makes attack seem reasonable, honestly provoked, and righteous in the name of self-defense. Yet is defensiveness a double threat, for it attests to weakness and sets up a system of defense that cannot work. Now are the weak still further undermined, for there is treachery without and still a greater treachery within. The mind is now confused and knows not where to turn to find escape from its imaginings. It is as if a circle held it fast, wherein another circle bound it, and another one in that, until escape no longer can be hoped for nor obtained. Attack, defense, defense, attack, become the circles of the hours and the days that bind the mind in heavy bands of steel with iron overlaid, returning but to start again. There seems to be no break nor ending in the ever-tightening grip of the imprisonment upon the mind. Defenses are the costliest of all the prices which the ego would exact. In them lies madness in a form so grim that hope of sanity seems but to be an idle dream, beyond the possible. The sense of threat the world encourages is so much deeper and so far beyond the frenzy and intensity of which you can conceive that you have no idea of all the devastation it has wrought. You are its slave. You know not what you do in fear of it. You do not understand how much you have been made to sacrifice who feel its iron grip upon your heart. You do not realize what you have done to sabotage the holy peace of God by your defensiveness. For you behold the Son of God as but a victim to attack by fantasies, by dreams, and by illusions he has made. Yet helpless in their presence, needful only of defense by still more fantasies and dreams by which illusions of his safety comfort him. Defenselessness is strength. It testifies to recognition of the Christ in you. Perhaps you will recall the text maintains that choice is always made between Christ's strength and your own weakness, seen apart from him. Defenselessness can never be attacked because it recognizes strength so great, attack is folly, or a silly game a tired child might play when he becomes too sleepy to remember what he wants. Defensiveness is weakness. It proclaims you have denied the Christ and come to fear his Father's anger. What can save you now from your delusion of an angry God, whose fearful image you believe you see at work in all the evils of the world? What but illusions could defend you now, when it is but illusions that you fight? We will not play such childish games today, for our true purpose is to save the world, and we would not exchange for foolishness the endless joy our function offers us. We would not let our happiness slip by because a fragment of a senseless dream happened to cross our minds, and we mistook the figures in it for the Son of God, its tiny instant for eternity. We look past dreams today and recognize that we need no defense because we are created unassailable without all thought or wish or dream in which attack has any meaning. Now we cannot fear, for we have left all fearful thoughts behind. And in defenselessness we stand secure, serenely certain of our safety now, sure of salvation, sure we will fulfill our chosen purpose as our ministry extends its holy blessing through the world. Be still a moment, and in silence, think how holy is your purpose, how secure you rest, untouchable within its light. God's ministers have chosen that the truth be with them. Who is holier than they? Who could be surer that his happiness is fully guaranteed? And who could be more mightily protected? What defense could possibly be needed by the ones who are among the chosen ones of God, by his election, and their own as well? It is the function of God's ministers to help their brothers choose as they have done. God has elected all, but few have come to realize his will is but their own. And while you fail to teach what you have learned, salvation waits, and darkness holds the world in grim imprisonment. Nor will you learn that light has come to you and your escape has been accomplished. For you will not see the light until you offer it to all your brothers. As they take it from your hands, so will you recognize it as your own. Salvation can be thought of as a game that happy children play. It was designed by one who loves his children and who would replace their fearful toys with joyous games which teach them that the game of fear is gone. His game instructs in happiness because there is no loser. Everyone who plays must win, and in his winning is the gain to everyone insured. The game of fear is gladly laid aside when children come to see the benefits salvation brings. You who have played that you are lost to hope, abandoned by your father, left alone in terror in a fearful world, made mad by sin and guilt, be happy now. That game is over. Now a quiet time has come in which we put away the toys of guilt and lock our quaint and childish thoughts of sin forever from the pure and holy minds of heaven's children and the Son of God. We pause but for a moment more to play our final happy game upon this earth, and then we go to take our rightful place where truth abides and games are meaningless. So is the story ended. Let this day bring the last chapter closer to the world, that everyone may learn the tale he reads of terrifying destiny, defeat of all his hopes, his pitiful defense against a vengeance he cannot escape, is but his own deluded fantasy. God's ministers have come to waken him from the dark dreams this story has evoked in his confused, bewildered memory of this distorted tale. God's Son can smile at last on learning that it is not true. Today we practice in a form we will maintain for quite a while. We will begin each day by giving our attention to the daily thought as long as possible. 5 minutes now becomes the least we give to preparation for a day in which salvation is the only goal we have. 10 would be better, 15 better still. And as distraction ceases to arise to turn us from our purpose, we will find that half an hour is too short a time to spend with God. Nor will we willingly give less at night in gratitude and joy. Each hour adds to our increasing peace as we remember to be faithful to the will we share with God. At times, perhaps, a minute, even less, will be the most that we can offer as the hour strikes. Sometimes we will forget. At other times, the business of the world will close on us, and we will be unable to withdraw a little while and turn our thoughts to God. Yet when we can, we will observe our trust as ministers of God in hourly remembrance of our mission and His love. And we will quietly sit by and wait on Him and listen to His voice and learn what He would have us do the hour that is yet to come, while thanking Him for all the gifts He gave us in the one gone by. In time, with practice, you will never cease to think of Him and hear His loving voice guiding your footsteps into quiet ways where you will walk in true defenselessness. For you will know that heaven goes with you. Nor would you keep your mind away from Him a moment, even though your time is spent in offering salvation to the world. Think you He will not make this possible for you who chose to carry out His plan for the salvation of the world and yours? Today our theme is our defenselessness. We clothe ourselves in it as we prepare to meet the day. We rise up strong in Christ and let our weakness disappear as we remember that His strength abides in us. We will remind ourselves that He remains beside us through the day and never leaves our weakness unsupported by His strength. We call upon His strength each time we feel the threat of our defenses undermine our certainty of purpose. We will pause a moment as He tells us, "I am here." Your practicing will now begin to take the earnestness of love to help you keep your mind from wandering from its intent. Be not afraid nor timid. There can be no doubt that you will reach your final goal. The ministers of God can never fail because the love and strength and peace that shine from them to all their brothers come from Him. These are His gifts to you. Defenselessness is all you need to give Him in return. You lay aside but what was never real to look on Christ and see his sinlessness.
All right, there you go. Lesson 153. Lesson
Amen.
153. Good lesson. Good lesson. Um, um, Normally now I gotta go through the lesson and stop and go. I'm not gonna do that now. So otherwise, I'd be here till two, till five. I'd be here way past. We have no time for just a minute. So I'm just gonna say that it's a great lesson. It minds the business, my safety lies. There's a lot of chunks in there, a lot of stuff to go through. So go through. I hope it spontaneously. This is like 14,000 different sermons in this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
triggers. It triggers. I mean, if I had to read through this, I absolutely I'd be stopping and going and stopping and going. If I was to expand on this, because there's so much here. But the
yeah.
general theme seems to be, well, there it is. My defense is I am safer when I know and I'm quite certain that there's no need to defend myself.
That's yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I read this last night, I read it this morning. Now I read along with it while you were playing it. And I mean, just really hitting home that the whole idea that I can be attacked is ridiculous,
Yeah,
even though it seems like it. And in the things I think are attacks are really nothing. Nothing. I love where it says, let's see, is talking about the sense of threat the world encourages is so much deeper and so, yeah,
and with the
yeah,
danger, and the whole idea of defending yourself is saying danger is threatening me,
yeah.
and that's all we do is think danger threatens us. Every
So
choice we make is about danger threatening us.
that's right.
Because the game we're playing is the game of fear. And she didn't, it doesn't say there that we can't play the game of fear. I mean, we can't play the game of life. It's the game of fear that ends today. There's no reason to fear the game. In other words, there's a difference between playing, a board game and playing a game of a game of capitalism. Playing
Yeah.
Monopoly, playing Monopoly, and then playing the game of life, and then go out and going to your job.
But
You know,
it's the same thing still.
so yeah, but not really. Once the more goes away, you forget about it.
Yeah.
There's no real stakes there. The stakes are only your emotions. But it's like seeing a movie about it.
Yeah.
You're vicariously almost involved. It's like any other board game or like playing cards. Every night we play cards at dinner. We play a
Yeah.
card game at dinner. And that's we're really into it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, when it's over, it's over. What do we care?
Exactly.
You
So,
know, and there's no stakes there at all. It's like playing Star Trek. You know, in Star Trek they play poker with no money.
yeah.
They're just with chips.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to play for the fun of it, you know,
Exactly.
I think there's a lot more I think you would soon stop playing those games if there wasn't the challenge of winning or losing.
Yeah,
That, yeah,
but the key is can you play a game like that and have a game winner or loser without actually thinking the person's a loser?
yeah, yeah. Because the whole idea. What if what if you went to Vegas and you went to the casinos and you lost all your money or you won a bunch of money or whatever, and as you were leaving Vegas, you had to stop and give it all back, or they would give you back everything you lost. So you didn't really win or lose anything, and you just go home.
Yeah,
How long would people keep going to Vegas?
they probably yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. And we're bored with it, unless it changed their nature somehow. But you
Yeah,
know what it would be an amusement park.
yeah, yeah,
It'd be like an amusement park for adults, I guess. And
yeah.
then who could drink while they play.
Yeah, and even after a while, it would lose its allure because there would be no chance of winning or losing. We play games every night too. I don't know what kind of what card games do you play?
Well, recently we made a game called golf.
Oh, okay, okay,
We did the lowest card, so they call it golf because the lowest card wins. The lowest
yeah,
round.
yeah, that's fun.
It's
Yeah,
fun. It's fun. We have five people a week, and we play every night, every time.
yeah,
And it's fun. And that's the most recent game. But
Yeah.
everybody comes every week. It's just every night. But every week we play. But every time we have dinner at the table.
Yeah, and so I mean, basically, what it is an opportunity to hang out with your loved ones and
Yeah,
have conversations, and I mean, it really is kind of a place to stop and just enjoy being with the people you love.
exactly. And that's what always comes on. You always hear that a lot of times. You hear that in sports a lot. They like being in the locker room with their buddies and relating to them. That's what they miss the most about sports. With their friends and everything. More than missing actually the game itself, they miss more the the traveling on the planes and all the camaraderie they
Yeah.
miss. Yeah, I know that in acting. One of my favorite parts of acting is my favorite thing is being on stage. Really, when you're cooking and doing a good job, but also it's great being backstage with everybody. Working with them backstage and being scared to go on. All that's good. I mean, the party afterwards, and going afterwards with everybody. It's just the whole scene and all the relationships you make. And it's all it's all chaos and up and down. So what? It's just so much fun.
Yeah, yeah, and that's it.
And then so all relationships. So same thing with anything, even with sports and with competitions and all that. If you realize that it's just meant for fun, and then no, so if you win a game, you're not really a winner per se. You're all winners.
Yeah.
We little kids used to say that. The little kids. Yeah, it's not really whether you win or lose, they play the game.
It's so funny because we always say that when we're done with the game. Well, we all won because we got to play. But then, and
Exactly. It's true though. I mean, it sounds so stupid, but what we tell our kids is usually the truth.
yes,
I mean, it's not the truth in the sense that we don't live by it, but if the theories are always true, we usually tell theoretical truths to our kids. Not how you play the game. It's not winning or losing. It's how you play the game. Now, we don't always live out of that. After the game's over, we're son of a bitch with strong TVs. With some of the TV set, we're really, really angry. Imagine that they're probably angry too. But then again, the sports players probably live by that rule more than we imagine.
yeah.
You ever hear Derek Jeter talk after a game? Yeah, he
Greg
lives.
Jeter, yeah, no, it's always been very positive.
Oh yeah, after game 14-0, he's like, well, the game's over. Time to get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah,
This is baseball. You're gonna lose games like that.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. This is a game of baseball. What you bummed out of the game? Wait, it's over. It's a game. It's history. I can't do anything about it. It's prepare for tomorrow's game. So
That's right.
and that's sort of like life. I mean, when it's over, what happens happens. Just take it day by day, and you move on.
That's it.
Yeah.
But and it is so weird to me because it just reminds me. I put the book up. We might not even read much today, but
I
it
know.
reminds me of when I went on jury duty. All right, the first time I ever went on jury duty, I had this whole idea in my mind of, I'm being a citizen and doing the things that what blah blah blah, helping democracy. I had all
Yeah,
these
yeah, you
ideas, right? Doing
go.
my civic duty. So I went on a jury duty and the jury duty, the whole trial, um, was, I mean, there was action and violence and, lots of stuff that happened. And the I'm not going to go into all the things that went on, but anyways, it was crazy because I was on the jury. There were like three elderly gentlemen who could not hear, and they thought that the plaintiff was the defendant, and
Oh,
they thought
great.
the defendant was the plaintiff, and I ended up hanging the jury because they wanted to vote innocent or not guilty, because what they were.
They want the
Anyways,
verdict.
or whatever. They anyways, and the lawyers, the attorneys were like so passionate throughout the whole thing, like, about this, oh, this terrible thing, and this kid did this, and this guy had, to have plastic surgery on his face because they, broke his eyeball or his eye socket, and all this stuff, right? And it was like, wow, these
Big, big,
guys are really after each other. And then the trial was over. It was, declared a whatever mistrial or whatever because I would not, I just couldn't vote with these guys on, they obviously they did not pay any attention at all to what
no.
was happening in the trial. It was crazy to me. And I thought, this is American justice. This is how it works. But anyways, so afterwards, I'm waiting for my ride to come pick me up, take me home. And the attorneys, the attorney, both of them, the defense and the whatever, they came out. They're talking to each other, real friendly, like, oh, let's go over here and have lunch. They're going off together to go have lunch, and I'm looking at them going, geez, you guys were just at each other's throats not like
Yeah.
an hour
It's
ago,
little.
and here now, oh yeah, okay, let's go. And I realized
Yeah.
that was they're playing a role.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing,
Yeah.
playing a role, playing a game, and it has nothing. They don't have any investment in it at all.
That's the key. That's the key to life is realize that I just was listening to this thing on TV, I mean, the radio about how the brain works. And the brain is the brain, you see, you're in a situation, but you always arrive late at the situation. We always arrive late consciously. Because unconsciously, the brain simulates the situation for us. It goes out there and it sees the situation. Yeah, we're always interpreting the situation. But the way we interpret it is we interpret the interpretation.
Yeah,
The interpretation is that the brain goes out there and takes a look at things for us, and it simulates. It creates a simulation. In other words, a prediction of what's going to happen based on what it sees. Safe neighborhood, yeah, safe neighborhood. We'll take it right over there, that's over here, and I go through the whole thing for you. And then it goes right down, take a look at it, and then you go through the whole thing after that's done. So for instance, what was fascinating.
yeah, yeah,
And it's almost as if when something goes wrong, it's feelings come from that you're sort of shocked that your simulation was wrong. So regret and anger and frustration come from that your prediction was wrong.
yeah.
As more than anything else. It's like I don't remember exactly why I put this up, what I was comparing it to, but I brought it up for some reason. But maybe if anyone remembers what the hell we were talking about before, they put it together themselves. But anyhow, and the mind, in a sense, seems to unconsciously get out there. Literally, our guide, our Holy Spirit comes out there, leads the way, and checks things out for us.
Yes,
Then he gives that the information to us and says, "All right, now follow me and follow me through. I'll do a little ready for you, and follow me in another way."
yeah,
So
exactly.
the analogy. It's I guess not perfect because it can be possible. First is this is that sometimes you fit what you were saying. When you go into a room and you fit while you were there.
Uh-huh.
That means he said the guy said that. I mean, that means that your programming went off. You were wrong in your prediction. You thought someone was going to be there and it wasn't there.
Oh,
So now you're recalibrating, and then that's what the silence is. That's why it's so silent when that happens. There's nothing there at all because essentially it was sort of like the way a lean woman a malfunction. So it's recalibrating. It's not a function, but nothing's there.
wow. So we are the AI robot
Yeah, sort of like
that
that. I mean,
that's programming. Nah.
yeah, exactly. And we're constantly doing that all the time, and we're always collaborating. I mean, I'm what's the word I'm looking for? Collaborating, whatever. Around us, everything around us before we actually get into it. So everything is a simulation. In actuality, everything is a simulation. Everything
Yes.
is a hologram. Everything is just inside our minds, and everything is. And now the question is there anything is this outside that's outside our interpretation, outside our creation, or is it just pure creation on our part? And does it matter? Because all we see is our interpretation of a simulation,
Yeah,
then it's not going to matter anyhow. We might just look at aspiration. We are creating a reality that to us is over the only reality we have. Unless we get work out completely. I mean, think about it, we have to deal with our brain because it's us that's doing it. It's our brain.
yeah,
So there's a part of our brain that is doing it unconsciously. The part of us that's conscious of who we are, the conscious mind, has no idea it's happening because the unconscious mind is doing it for us.
that's right.
Now, the unconscious mind is not always right, though. Sometimes it miscalculates, and that's why we get angry, frustrated, regretful, and sad.
Yeah,
So this is kind of interesting. And I remember
right. Yeah.
I wanted to compare it to something. I wrote it for a reason. I was comparing it to something, but I don't remember what the heck that was.
Well, and I think, it may be, because, just imagining we're trying to understand our own situation, and how is it that this is affecting me, and how is it that it can be, because it's obviously we're convinced that this is true,
What's true?
that this experience that we're having here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're convinced, it makes, and because when you're sitting here talking, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, I mean, I'm actually experiencing, is this real?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's as real as anything gets for us, though. So it's what real is, right?
Yeah, as far as we know. I mean, but it's
It's
not,
what real is to
because
us.
yeah, this thing, what is actually being experienced here? And is there something outside of me that I'm
It's
experiencing?
asking fish what is any outside of water.
Right,
You
right.
probably say no, it's only water. And
We we don't know.
the fish outside the water, it dies.
Yeah,
So it was not even recognized that as anything but death itself. So it only would say, no, it's only water.
exactly.
So same thing with us. We look at spirit as death, but it's there. And then
Wow,
we have to just grow up and get out of here. And spirit's not it doesn't really kill us.
exactly.
I mean, the thing about the air and the fish is that it's air and fish. It's air. So it's not the perfect analogy, but we can't compare the spirit world with the with level two and level one. It's more complicated than just there's an analogy. Analogies always fall short. Analogies
Okay.
always fall short because you're dealing in a perfect world. It's kind of like light. I always say light's kind of like God, and light always very similar because light gives of itself and it doesn't receive anything in return. It's a very good analogy. Like kind of gives rid of darkness and doesn't ask any questions. It just gives of itself, and it doesn't say, "I'm gonna make a deal with darkness. I'll give you this if you give me that." You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
just gets rid of darkness, but it does it automatically. The thing about God is that God does it by choice.
right,
You might do it automatically, but that's the whole point. God doesn't have to do this.
right. And in fact, yeah, but is doing, I mean, I'm going to read.
He would never not do it, Bruce. God's nature is to do what's loving and caring.
That's right. But
He
we
would
don't
do
know
it.
what that is. That the problem is our interpretation of what is loving and caring is our interpretation, and we don't really know what loving and caring is.
Yeah,
So that's why we get disappointed by God, because we think he's not doing his job, but
right.
we don't know what that is.
No idea. So I'm not sure we can ever really know based on our own efforts.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
So that's how we might as well just kind of try to. But doesn't mean we should try to be happy and try to be joyous. It just means that we shouldn't get too upset when we fail.
Right. And we shouldn't be upset at all when we fail. We should laugh at that too.
Is that. So like I do when I lose the card game.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it, so well.
Yeah, which is what we do. I mean, we're happy and having fun. So,
Hey,
nobody cares. We're just happy we got to do the game.
for instance,
So,
we just told you this is better that he come back next week. So
Yeah. Well, I thought I'm just going to read a little bit of it because
Right.
I'm just going to read this a little bit here because I think this, I know it's what we read last week, but I think it really it covers what we've just been talking about.
Right.
It's union. You have who truly wish to consecrate yourself thus to me and are willing to give your whole life to me, putting aside all personal ideas, hopes, and aims in order that I may freely and fully express through you my impersonal idea. Listen carefully to these words. I have led you through all your experiences of life up to just this point. Yes,
All right.
if you are now really ready and willing to serve me and have learned nothing that you of yourself can know, can can know nothing and can do nothing, and that I am and what you call your intelligence and your strength and your substance are really mine,
Yeah.
and that it is I who direct all your thoughts and both cause and enable you to do all that you do. And then can you comprehend the significance of my words and are quite prepared to obey them.
There's no line of demarcation really between God's love and our love, if you realize that. Because our love is, if you're separated from God, then you're creating you say, I have love, and then I have love that's separate from God's.
Yeah.
So if you say, my love that I experience might be, you might say it's inferior to God. That God's love will be better than mine than the love I mean, I'm experiencing a lower vibration of God's love.
Yeah, I'm experiencing what I can experience through my filter.
Exactly. I'm experiencing as much cheesecake as I can eat.
Yeah.
I can't. If I just have three pieces, oh, I feel great. But if I have seven, I'm throwing up. You know what I mean? I'm in the same. So three pieces of God is good enough for me.
Yeah.
I get a lot of joy there, man. I have so much joy when I have 3 ounces. My 10% God today, 20% the next month, and I'll move up slowly until they all God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah,
I love that.
some people have too much of God, and then they explode.
Yeah. Well,
And then
they can't stand it.
they
Yeah.
can't stand, and then they end up quitting, and they end up leaving, or they end up just going crazy, and then they're obsessed, and they're passing out pamphlets in the airport, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna close this book.
Okay. So
Maybe
we
next
come
week.
in.
But you know what? I don't care because I really appreciate our conversation
Yeah, I did too. That was a great conversation.
and truly
Great
appreciate.
lesson today, and I'm hopefully if anyone's help, anyone listening got help by it, a little bit, if not a lot. So thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Wayne. And
Mhm.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and stop the live stream.
Yeah.
So
Have a nice one.
and I want to play something for you. I think you'll appreciate. I might
Oh,
have sent this to you in the past. I'm not sure.